Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 4th episode in this advanced English vidcast with me, ta-da, Anna English. I hope that you are well. I hope that you are excited about learning some English today, and no matter what level you are at, immersing yourself and surrounding yourself with the English language is always going to benefit your English learning. So as much as you can, try to just use your ears to really absorb what I'm talking to you about today. I will keep jumping between the notes and my face so that hopefully it helps you with your listening skills more than anything. As always, I'm going to be doing some riddles, jokes, song, poem, news articles, and talking about the weather. I do have my patron Skype room open, so patrons, if you have any questions, then feel free to pop them in here so I can say hello to you and make sure I answer your question. Otherwise, I will be sure to answer at least 3 questions at the end of the session. Now, I do have an announcement to make at the end, so make sure you do hold on to the end or at least jump back later to see what the big announcement is. Ta-da! Right, let's get started. So, Advanced English Vidcast, episode number 4. What is the word of the day? Today's new word, and this word I want you to try to use at least 3 or 4 times in the next 24 hours, and it's the word callous. Callous. Just have a look at that pronunciation with the L's. Callous. 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 If you are callous, so callous is an adjective, we can use it to describe a person. If you are callous, then it means you show or you have an insensitive or cruel disregard for others. It's like being cold and heartless, to not care for something or someone, to be cruel, heartless, and insensitive. And the example sentence that I've used here is, Jamie handled the animals in a cold and callous manner, which upset the young onlookers. An onlooker is somebody who looks over a scene. So, for example, if I am playing baseball in a field and you are watching from the sidelines, you are onlookers. You are looking on the scene of me hitting the ball with the bat, hopefully. So the young onlookers were upset to see Jamie handling the animals with a callous manner. So he wasn't handling the animals very fairly, perhaps a little rough and cruel. Oh, poor doggy. Okay, so today's riddle. The answer will come at the end, so hang on to the end to know what the answer is, but you have some time to think about it, is the more you take, the more you leave behind. What am I? So the more you take, the more you leave behind. What are we talking about? The more you take, the more you leave behind. Have a good think about it. The answer will be revealed at the end. I thought this one was quite hard, actually. I found this one quite difficult myself. But once you know it, it's so obvious. Fabulous. Okay, so lots of you are joining in today. I hope that you're not in a callous mood and that you're feeling generous and you're wanting to share your love of English language by hitting that share button right now. I've got a good feeling today is going to be the day that we hit 200 viewers during a live lesson. So go on. Don't just sit there, hit that share button, share with Facebook, Twitter, Google+, your WhatsApp group, a friend on email. Share it right now. Let's get those numbers up and then all of us can be happy that it's Friday and we're all here together. And while you're hitting that share button, I'm going to move on to talk about the weather because, of course, us English, we love to talk about the weather. However, that rhymes, weather, however. However, I'm not going to talk about the British weather today because around the world we've been having some crazy weather going on. So I'm going to talk about weather in another part of the world. Unfortunately, and if you have been affected by this, my heart goes out to you and I am thinking of you. My prayers are with you. And I hope you get through it sooner rather than later. But the tropical storm Nate which is causing havoc on the other side of the ocean. We're going to be talking about the weather there, so let's do it together. Here we go. Tropical storm Nate is expected to reach the US Gulf Coast over the weekend as a hurricane. In Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Honduras, the storm has caused widespread flash flooding and mudslides. Flash flooding is flooding that happens very quickly because of a huge amount of rain. So flooding is just normally where there's lots of water that floods an area. But flash flooding is sudden and extreme flooding. And a mudslide is where the earth becomes obviously wet and muddy, and it causes a lot of the earth to move, to slide down a hillside, and it can be very dangerous if it is a big mudslide. The storm has sustained winds of 45 miles per hour and is moving northwest at 12 miles per hour. Miles per hour is always written like this, mph, miles per hour, but we never say mph, we always say miles per hour. Parts of the Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama coastlines are under hurricane and tropical storm watches. The storm could drop 3 to 6 inches of rain and up to 12 inches in some areas. So it's quite serious. So I do hope that all of you watching are safe, and anyone who is affected, I hope that you get through it safely. So today's idiom, thinking about the storm, is going to be a storm is brewing. A storm is brewing. If you say a storm is brewing, you're basically saying there's trouble coming. Uh-oh, a storm is brewing. Doo-doo. Okay, so the example sentence I've given here is, Jennifer seems upset. There is definitely a storm brewing. Jennifer seems upset. There is definitely a storm brewing. Obviously, Jennifer has got something she feels like she needs to say. She's going to shout at someone, so trouble is coming any moment. All right, so my patrons are busy chatting away. Let's have a look, see what you're saying. Hello, Eric. So Andreas, hello as well. Erica said, Anna, you'll make 100,000 subscribers before Christmas to get your first YouTube button on your wall. Oh, will you? You're asking a question. I hope so. I mean, we're getting quite close. We have a wonderful 81,000 subscribers at the moment. So fingers crossed. Guys, if you're watching and you're not a subscriber, then help me get a wonderful button on my wall by helping me to grow this YouTube channel. So just hit subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. And what you do get is lots of fabulous English lessons for free. Yay! Okay, Eric, you've hit the share button 19 times. You are amazing. I can't thank you enough. Okay, so what have we learnt so far? Callous, the adjective callous. None of us here are callous. We're all loving and wonderful and sharing. As we have 154 of you watching, we're so close to that 200 mark. You are obviously all amazing and sharing this lesson. Thank you. We've also learnt that there is a storm brewing. A wonderful, commonly used idiom. There's a storm brewing, meaning there's trouble coming. All right. So the next thing on the list is the news. Oh, I need to turn my phone on silent. How rude of me. I do apologise. So the news. This is always taken from the BBC News website. Which is a good website. BBC, I always think, do some fantastic reporting, and they also offer some great English resources, so you can always go and check them out. But today's article is a tech article. It's about technology, and it's in particular about automation. Automation. So automation is when something happens automatically. So we're soon going to get automated cars that drive automatically without you having to do anything. So that's what automation is, taking something that a human does and making it an automatic process so a human doesn't have to do it. So let's read this article. Who's going to lose out from automation? It's particularly talking about men versus women. Who's going to lose out more? Virtual waiters and waitresses self-service checkouts, and robot orchestra conductors. Love it or hate it, automation, artificial intelligence, and robotics are here to stay. That means here to stay means it's a permanent feature of our future. It's here to stay. So I might say to you, hey guys, I am here to stay. I am never leaving YouTube. I'm here to stay. And you might go, oh no. Or hopefully you'll go, yay, she's here to stay. So that's a phrase we use regularly. So if you want to sound more like a native, you should definitely put that into your little book of phrases. Just before I move on, I've had Eureka, hello, says, what is a YouTube button? A YouTube button basically is just a little plaque. It looks like a button and you can put it on your wall. It looks like the play button. And when you hit 100,000 subscribers, you get a silver play button. When you hit 1 million subscribers, you get a gold play button. They're not really silver and gold, they're just that colour. And I think when you hit like 5 million subscribers or something, you get a platinum play button. So it's just a nice way of YouTube saying, well done, you're doing a good job. And Camille says, hello Camille. And Ella has said, we had a bad storm here in Berlin so you'd put in the last few days. We had a bad storm here in Berlin in the last few days. No trains or buses were going. It was interesting and frightening at the same time to see how easily the system breaks apart. Yes, I agree with you, Ella. What we have here is a joke that anytime we have any kind of storm, whether it be a little gust of wind and a bit of rain, we joke about leaves on the train lines, because regularly, every autumn, trains will stop running because there are leaves on the line. And it's just such a silly thing. It's incredible. The basic things of nature, the basic function of nature can cause the whole system to stop. Right, so let's get back to our article. Where were we? So, they're here to stay. But will these technological advances, be it in the office or the factory, affect the working life of men and women equally? Interesting. Just hear the phrase be it. That basically is a short way of saying whether it is. Whether it is in the office or in the factory. And we just say, be it in the office or the factory. It is a very formal way to say it, so you can use it in a formal situation. And it actually makes you sound quite clever, I think. Be it in the office or factory, affect the working life of men and women equally. So, that's an interesting question. Let's get that answered. While there is debate about the benefits of automation in the world of work, there is no escaping the fact that more robots and artificial intelligence means more jobs in science, technology, engineering and maths, known as the STEM group. Now, notice how I said the word maths. It's a difficult one. You have to make the fricative between the teeth, and then the S straight away. Maths, maths. Okay? So you do the two together, maths. All right, so carrying on. In the US, the United States, home to some of the world's largest technology firms, growth in computing is expected to yield 500,000 jobs within the next decade. Now, the word yield means to give, to reward. So if I plant a tree and the tree grows, eventually it will yield fruit. The fruit will be its yield. It means it will give fruit back. So what does it give back? You make an investment. What does it give back? What is its yield? So this growth in computing is expected to give back 500,000 jobs within the next decade. And if you don't know, a decade refers to 10 years. 10 years. Okay? But the prospects for women and girls aren't looking good. Uh-oh. A prospect is something to look forward, an opportunity that's good in the future. So good opportunities for women and girls aren't looking good. Uh-oh. If current gender ratios remain the same until 2020, and a ratio, if you're not sure, is kind of like the numbers, the percentages. If the current percentages, the numbers, remain the same until 2020, according to the World Economic Forum study of more than a dozen, so a dozen means 12, of more than a dozen advanced economies, for every 20 jobs lost to automation, men working in STEM will see 5 new jobs and women just 1. This research shows that at the current rate, women and girls risk missing out on the jobs of the future as more tasks at work become automated. Well, that's just typical, isn't it? Poor old women. What are we going to do? Experts say that if there were more female computer scientists, it would also ensure that women and men both have creative input and oversight of new technology. And the word input, it's quite an important word. It just means how much you put into something. So how much you invest. It could be an idea, it could be investing your time, it could be investing your hard work, but your creative input is your creative idea and work. And your oversight is your responsibility. So taking responsibility for something. So if women have more responsibility in new technology and more creative input, then it would be better overall. Okay, gosh, so a few new words there, perhaps. Oversight, input, dozen, meaning 12, ratios, meaning percentages, numbers, prospects, good opportunities in the future, decade, 10 years, yield, what does it give back, what does it reward, and be it, whether it is. Okay, I hope you're finding this helpful. Oh, what have we got coming up? The Ghoul. Da, da, da. Okay, so I did say earlier that I was going to be making an announcement and you should definitely stay tuned. And so I figure I'll make that announcement right now. We have 175 of you watching. Hello from London. Hope you're well. So the little announcement I'm going to make is mainly for my patrons, but anyone can get involved because you all have an opportunity to become a patron. But what I'm going to be doing is doing an official name ceremony. So this is going to be like a christening, but without the religion. It's just me giving special names to my patrons. So I've done this with my WhatsApp group. Now, basically, a lot of the members of my WhatsApp group have names from their countries, which we find difficult to pronounce here in the UK. And so, just for a bit of fun, we gave every member of my WhatsApp group an English name, a British English name, a name that they could use when they were in England or talking with English people. And it's just for a bit of fun. So we all enjoyed that very much. And I've decided that I'm also going to offer the same bit of fun and bit of love to my patrons. So in a couple of weeks, I will be doing a video which announces and does the ceremony of the official naming of my patrons. So patrons, if you would like to have an official British English name, then all you have to do on the Patreon website is to answer the post that I put up just today with 3 words describing yourself. With those 3 words and your original name, I will come up with the most suitable British English name for you, which you can then adopt as your British English name. And anyone who would like to get involved, there are also lots of other rewards to being a patron. Obviously, the most important one is that you are, firstly, added to the Skype group, but most importantly, you are supporting this channel, meaning I can do more and make more and more lessons at a better quality and deliver them to more people around the world. If you're interested, the link is in the description box just below. Become a patron. Fabulous. So let me just quickly answer my patrons here now. Camille says, Anna, have you seen House of Cards? No, I haven't. And I know it's terrible. I must watch it because everyone says it's so good. And I will at some point when I have time. I never have time, but when I have time, I'll try to watch it. And you say, please, could you say what several times, if you can, American and lovely British accent. Okay, so in British English we say what. American English, it depends where in America you're from, but some Americans, like Gabby from Go Natural English, says what, with more like an sound. Yeah, well, hope that answers your question. Eureka says, I'm excited for my English name. Can you tell us a bit about your WhatsApp group? Yeah, my WhatsApp group is just my gold members group, but unfortunately my WhatsApp group is full at the moment, so there are no more members being taken on until a member leaves. It's a very small group. We're on WhatsApp talking every day, and it's just to support them. Anyway, let's move on with the lesson. I have 191 of you watching. That's fabulous. So let's advance our English. Now we're going to move on to the poem section. And as we have Halloween fast approaching, we are going to be doing a Halloween type gruesome poem. It's very short. It's called The Ghoul. And a ghoul is a kind of a monster. All right, it has a funny spelling and the H is silent. And we have 199 people watching. If you just one more person clicks that share button, then we'll have those 200 of you, and that'll be amazing. Anyway, let's go on for The Ghoul. The Ghoul by Jack, oh, that should be a K, Jack Prelutsky. Jack Prelutsky. The Ghoul. Let's get rid of that one. Okay, you ready for this? The gruesome ghoul, the grisly ghoul, without the slightest noise, waits patiently beside the school to feast on girls and boys. He lunges fiercely through the air as they come out to play. He grabs a couple by the hair and drags them far away. He cracks their bones and snaps their backs and squeezes out their lungs. He chews their thumbs like candy snacks and pulls apart their tongues. He slices their stomachs and bites their hearts and tears their flesh. Ooh, that's a typo. Tears their flesh to shreds. He swallows their toes like toasted tarts and gobbles down their heads. Fingers, elbows, hands and knees and arms and legs and feet. He eats them with delight and ease, for every part's a treat. And when the gruesome grisly ghoul has nothing left to chew, he hurries to another school and waits, perhaps for you. Ah, what a scary poem. If there were any words in that poem that you didn't know, then please write it in the comments box now and I will try to explain it to you a little later on. Okay, so now we're moving on to the song section. As you know, I do like to have a bit of a sing-song, but I have to do it without music because otherwise if I sing with music, I get in trouble from YouTube for using music that I don't own. So I must just sing a cappella. The word a cappella means without music. All right? So today we're doing a very fun song, an up-tempo song. An up-tempo song is a song with a fast tempo, something fast. And this song is called Great Balls of Fire by Jerry Lee Lewis. I'm hoping you're going to sing along with me because the whole point is that singing helps you to remember English. Singing helps you to remember whatever it is you're singing, whether it's silly sounds, a foreign language, sentence structures. It's really helpful. Music just helps things to go into the long-term memory. So no matter where you are, no matter who's listening, I want you to throw caution to the wind. This is a good idiom for you. Throw caution to the wind, which means don't care. Have no care about it. Don't worry. Throw caution to the wind and let's sing all together. Are you ready for this? Okay, so it goes something like this. We'll do it slowly. You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, but what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I laughed at love 'cause I thought it was funny. You came along and moved me, honey. I've changed my mind. Your love is fine. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Kiss me, baby. Woo! Feels good. Hold me, baby. Well, I wanna love you like a lover should. You're fine, so kind. I wanna tell the world that you're mine, 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 mine. I chew my nails and I twiddle my thumbs. I'm real nervous, but I'm real nervous, but it sure is fun. Come on, baby, drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. And I just now want to jump onto an electric guitar and go. I hope you found that fun. It's quite a hard song to sing a cappella because it kind of goes all over the place. He does speaky bits and then goes high and low. And anyway, I hope you were singing along. Did the neighbours knock on the wall? Go, hey, be quiet. All right, what are my patrons saying? Patrons, did you sing along? You said, thanks, we all heard your real voice. Don't be shy. I'm not shy, not really. I'm on YouTube. I can't be shy if I'm on YouTube. All right, so did any of you have any words from the Ghoul that you found difficult? Okay, so the word grisly. Grisly. How do I explain that word? Let me have a look what Cambridge says. Grisly meaning... So grisly is something that causes horror and disgust. So it's just a way of describing something to say that it's frightful, perhaps, or just that it's hideous. It's grisly. Yeah, so frightful, hideous, that kind of thing. Any other words that you found difficult? Gruesome. Gruesome is the same. It means full of horror. It's nasty. You could say if you saw a medical program and you saw someone with an open wound and maybe they're pulling out debris and it's all lots of blood and just horrible stuff that you don't want to watch, you might say that's gruesome because it horrifies you. Like, oh, ugh, gruesome. Any other words? No, you all seem quite happy. Great. Okay, let's carry on, shall we? We're nearly at the end. Oh, we are very nearly at the end. So before I go, I am going to leave you with a few jokes. And today I was inspired by a cow. A cow is an animal, 4 legs. It goes moo, and it gives us milk. Obviously, from that we make cheese and stuff like that. So I was inspired by a cow, so I have 2 jokes for you. The first one is, where do cows go for entertainment? Where do cows go for entertainment? Of course, they go to the movies. You have to tell this joke later to somebody else. Whether you think it's good or bad, you have to retell it to somebody else. They go to the movies. Okay, the next joke is, knock knock. Who's there? Cows go. Cows go who? No, cows go moo. Oh, I'm too funny. It's very hard to do knock knock jokes when there's no one to respond to me. Anyway, okay, so before I give you the answer to the riddle, one of you has asked, what does tarts mean? A tart, in the context of the poem, a tart is it's like a little cake, but it has like a biscuit base. So it's a little cake with a soft filling. It's very nice. And you asked what gobbles means. To gobble something is to eat something very quickly. You gobble it down. So it's an unpleasant way of quickly eating something, to gobble. Your parents might say to you, don't gobble your dinner down if you're eating very, very fast. Okay, so do you remember the riddle at the beginning? The riddle at the beginning, I asked you what I am if I'm saying the more you take, the more you leave behind. The more you take, the more you leave behind. What are we talking about? Of course, we are talking about footsteps. Footsteps. So the more you take, the more you leave behind. So there we go. Obviously, if you take footsteps, so you take little steps, footsteps, and the footsteps can also refer to the prints that are left in the sand. Footsteps. Fabulous. Well, guys, it's been an incredible day. I've really enjoyed this. I felt very energetic, as you can probably tell. I've got loads of other great lessons coming up for you over the weekend and next week. What I would ask you to do, if you could do me one favour today, I'm going to ask you for one favour, and that is my children's channel. My children's channel is locked. I can't fully control my children's channel until I have 10,000 views. It's a new rule by YouTube. And so far we have 8,000 views in total on my children's channel. So if you don't mind watching me in a purple wig, jumping around and being silly, even if it's just for a few seconds, ideally you'll watch a whole video. They're only a couple of minutes long, some of the shorter ones. But if you don't mind watching me for a few seconds, then I would be very grateful if you could help me get those extra 2,000 views by heading over to Bella and Beans TV. The link is in the description box below. I think it's under the setting, the subheading, contribute, and it says kids, we need views. If you click on that channel and just view one video, a couple of videos, all the videos, it would mean the world to me. And if you can help us to get to that 10,000 view mark so we can get control of our channel and finally start doing some real stuff with it, that would be amazing. And if you know anyone with kids, please do share. Okay, so a huge thank you to my patrons. Patrons, don't forget to get involved in the British English naming ceremony. So if you want it, go and talk on the post on patreon.com. If you're not a patron but you want to be, the link's in the description box below. There's also loads of other links you might find useful. Guys, you've been amazing. I'm going to stay in the chat room for a little while and talk to you. Otherwise, mwah, mwah, mwah. Lots of love from London. You are awesome. Bye. I'm live again on Monday.